Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady. In this video, I'm going to talk about the sensational news that Paul Manion and Jack McCaffrey have both returned to the Dublin football team for 2023. I am so excited and so happy with this news. I mean, as Aaron said, Christmas has come early. I mean, what an outstanding bit of news for a Dublin fan. You've got two lads coming in that between them have 7 All-Stars and 11 All-Ireland titles. I mean, Desi Farrell, just as casually as ever, is just speaking with DUBS TV there at the end of the club championship quarterfinals. He's talking about players that he likes. And then he just casually goes, oh yeah, Manion and Jack McCaffrey are coming back next year. Sorry, what? The two, probably the best wing back in the game in the last 10 years, along with Lee Keegan, and then probably one of the best forwards in the country. Not probably, definitely one of the best forwards in the country. They're both coming back next year. And when you look at how close Dublin were to Kerry in that semi-final, they lost by a point to a Sean O'Shea wonder free at the end. They didn't have Con O'Callaghan that day. They didn't have Paul Manion that day, and they didn't have Jack McCaffrey that day. Those three players walk into any team in the country over the last 10 years. And having those three lads back next year, I mean, that shoots Dublin right up to the top of the All-Ireland contenders. No doubt about it. I mean, just look at the bookies. The odds went from 11-4 to 2-1 after McCaffrey and Manion came back. I mean, just absolutely sensational. I mean, Jack McCaffrey's one is more of a surprise to me than Paul Manion's. I mean, let's look at Manion's first. So he'd left the panel at the end of 2020 when Dublin had won the All-Ireland for a 6th time in a row against Mayo. He'd been used as a sub throughout that season, an impact sub. Paddy Small had been given the number 13 jersey instead of Manion. Manion had come off the bench a few times, but he wasn't used as much as he used to be. He stepped away after that year, didn't come back for 2021 or 2022. And the frustrating thing for Dublin fans was he was clearly the best forward in the Dublin Club Championship in both these years. I mean, he's absolutely outstanding footballer, still in his prime. And we were saying, why won't this guy come back? He was saying that he was exhausted. The commitment of intercounty football, was exhausting. He'd gone away and he played football with Chicago over the summers, and then he was committing 110% to Kilmacud Crokes in the club championship, and he was outstanding for them. And I fully believe that if he did not get injured in the club championship last year, the Crokes would have beaten Kilcoo in that final, because they were all over them in the first half. And I believe if they had a match winner like Manion to turn to when the game got tough, Manion would have led them over the line. I really believe that. He was clearly the best, and now he is back. Let's look at Jack McCaffrey. So after he stepped away, after he played one league game in 2020, he limped off with a hamstring injury that day. Then he stepped away, went to New York, and then, the pandemic hit, the whole world shut down. McCaffrey confirmed then that he was walking away from the panel for the time being. He wouldn't call it a retirement, but he spoke to Bernard Brogan, I believe, on Off the Ball. It was an interview, and he just said, look, the fun's gone out of it for me. He was saying, look, the buzz just isn't there right now. And I think what's key here is these two lads are coming back because Dublin have lost in the last 2 championship seasons. When they walked away in 2020, Dublin were king, absolute king. I mean, they'd been untouched. They hadn't lost a championship game since 2014. They had gone, I think it was 6 years without even being touched. And I mean, for McCaffrey and Manion, it was a type of thing that they were putting all this effort in. And especially, I think, after they completed the 5 in a row, they had become the Untouchables. They'd become the Invincibles. They have become the best team that has ever played the game. What more do you have left to do? What more do you have left to achieve? So I think they were looking at it and saying, I'm 26, I'm 27. I want to go traveling. I want to experience life while I can. And you can't hold that against them. I mean, these lads give up their time to play for the county. They give up the time to play an amateur sport. So you can't hold that against them. But I feel like they knew that they were going to win pretty much every year. They step away. Dublin lose to Mayo in 2021. They lose to Kerry in 2022. All of a sudden, Dublin, and they got relegated last year as well. All of a sudden, Dublin are in Division 2. They are outsiders now for the title. They have that hunger. They're no longer being hunted. They are the hunters now. And I feel like that has really lit a fire under Manion and McCaffrey and all the Dublin team. And I feel like next year, Dublin are going to be one hell of a challenge and one hell of a threat to anyone. I can see us blasting through Division 2. I really am saying it now. Like, I know Roscommon are there. I know Derry are there. They might be a challenge. But no, I think Dublin are definitely the strongest team in Division 2 this year, and right up there as a serious contender for the All-Ireland title. I mean, over the last few years. The last two teams that have played in the All-Ireland final have both come from Division 2. Galway in 2022, Mayo from 2021. So this whole thing of playing in Division 2 really doesn't matter. When Championship comes around, it's completely different. And Dublin are right back there, up there, as one of, if not the best in the country in terms of talent-wise, because Kerry beat them, as I mentioned, without three of the best footballers in the country. And I mean, with Clifford there, with Sean O'Shea there, with Manion back, with Jack McCaffrey back, I cannot wait to see Dublin and Kerry lock horns again. Because let's not forget, when Manion was there, when McCaffrey was there, Kerry drew with them in the first All-Ireland final in 2019. So it's not cut and dry, but I'm just saying Dublin are definitely way more of a threat this year than they were last year. So I cannot wait to see how this goes down. I cannot wait to see the next championship, the next chapter of this Dublin story, this Dublin v Kerry rivalry. I cannot wait to see it again. That's my thoughts on this, guys. Let me know what you think about it. And until next one, take care.